Okay, so we just got done working with this awesome fella, Deli, in the stall, showing you the shoulder movement on the previous video. So a couple exercises that are really important when you have a horse that wants to just drop the shoulder. So when I pick up lateral flexion, so now I couldn't do this yesterday on him because he was braced up. So it wasn't that he was being bad. And so we talk about having a horse that can laterally flex to the left and to the right. And when we do that, sometimes they'll brace up through their body and they'll just move. They can't do it. And so if we just take a little bit of time to make sure we're preparing our horses and setting them up for success, because we're asking them things that a lot of times that they don't know how to disconnect and deconstruct their body, because they don't need to for just being a horse. They really don't. Well, everything that we're doing with them is very unnatural. And the other thing we have to look at is we have to kind of look at our expectations as humans and change that to what our horses need and what we're asking them to do to better themselves while we're working with them as a partnership, which in turn then will help him be more confident and not be spooky, not be worried, not be all these other things, and cause less injuries. So now if I can get him to laterally flex really nice like this, now if I put that inside hip on, I'm hoping that he doesn't just drop that shoulder, that he'll want to walk around the front end. So he reached, that was much better, but you see how he still, if I do this, see how he goes back to that, just like pulling that shoulder over? So what I'm gonna do is I'm walking him now. I'm gonna pick up that rein a little, just a little bit, put my inside leg forward at the girth, and just ask him to start at like a 3-meter circle. Ask him to start to walk around my inside leg. And I'm looking for his ears to be parallel, not to dip the outside ear, because if he dips the outside ear, then he's throwing off his entire body mechanics or biomechanics. So see how this is a really tough thing for him. So this is way better than it's been, but you can see it's because he has a range of motion issue in that front shoulder. I'm gonna go to the right to show you the difference, because his right is much better. You can see how going this way, he's tracking around the rib cage and much better that way. So what it is the tightness of the left shoulder and the right side of the neck. So now I'm going to come back this way, and as soon as, if you probably got a really good view in the camera there, as soon as I changed direction, you saw his neck and head and everything really dive down. So if I go this way, he's more bendable in the neck through the middle of his vertebrae. And if I go back this way here, and I go to turn him to the left, that was better, but that was much better. That felt really good, considering where we're at right now. So I'm gonna go back this way. So I'm just trying to get the neck and the pole to be as really as pliable as possible. The more that we can deconstruct his body. So now I'm gonna ask him just to roll the hind end under, while still keeping the front end going forward. Now I'm going to ask him to stop. Now I'll ask him to roll the front end across and over. So now I'm going to try that on the other side. You'll see this exercise a lot with a lot of the horses I work with. So now he's going around much better now. So now I'm going to ask him just to step under with the hind. Good. So he didn't drop the shoulder at all. And now I'm going to ask him just to rock back and open up that shoulder. So I know I was going away from the camera, but you could see the range of motion in that shoulder was much better. And as soon as he did that, you guys probably couldn't see from outside, he started licking and chewing. So now I might just stay right in front of the camera and just ask him to back up, roll that shoulder over, stop. So back up, as soon as the left hits the ground, outside leg at the girth, ask him to roll over. And now a little outside rein. So right leg goes back, outside leg comes over at the girth, his left leg goes back, my outside leg at the girth, little outside supporting rein, and get him to really step over. But you can see how much more pliable he is now than what he's been, and he takes a nice big breath. So if we don't have the front end of the horse, if we don't have the pole through C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 working properly, the rest of it's not going to work right. Just like with our own body. I've got my awesome camera crew and awesome rider, Maddie is standing there, and she's got some hip issues right now.
Yeah.
And if the hip's not working right, it's affecting the rest of your body, correct?
This actually messes up my shoulders, my knees, my ankles, everything. Just like
right?
with Deli.
So doctor's order, can't ride for a month because she's got to heal that, so then she can be balanced on her horse. Because if she's riding out of balance, just like if we're all riding out of balance, if we have pain, they're going to feel our pain and they're going to try to compensate for our pain. So a lot of times if you've got an injury to a hip or left side, your horse is going to have that same soreness on that side because they're trying to compensate. I did an awesome podcast with Elle Woolley the other day, who suffered an aneurysm at 11 years old, and what that did was it made the left side of her body much weaker, and so she had to have a right hip replacement on her good hip because it was compensating for the bad hip. So just like with our horses, if we have a horse that is weak in one area, if we don't do what we need to do to help them, and a lot of times we go to the vet and we'll talk about injections and we talk about all these things, but we very rarely talk about stretching our horses. If you're a performance horse person, and he's a 4-star adventure, right? Like advanced 4-star horse. So he's going over really big stuff, and not only show jumping, but cross country, and he's got to go, what, like advanced is like, what, 8 minutes on cross country?
Oh, 4-star, it can be up to like 10 minutes,
10 minutes, right?
minutes.
So he's at a full gallop, jumping. How big are the jumps?
The jumps are like 1.35 m, I believe.
Yeah, and how wide? I mean,
yeah,
big.
the fences can be up to like 6 feet wide, if not more.
And the drop-offs, how big
the
are the
drops can be about 6 feet as well.
6 feet, so they're going from a canter and they're dropping 6 feet.
And even just the dressage movements as well, they're forced to really have to sit on their hind end and do the shoulder ins and the haunches in and the different lateral movements, and then on top of it do all the jumping with the pushing with their hind end and having to use their body a lot.
So if we can't get these guys to feel good from a mind-body connection aspect and really get them to utilize their body correctly, we're not gonna have the horse that we really could have in the performance world. So you're seeing this firsthand. But this is an amazing horse, and he's got such a, and he's done so many great things, and we're just trying to help fine tune. The owner is fantastic with him, and has asked me to kind of help with some things, and these are some things that I'm finding out of just getting that front end to be really nice. And when I get that lightness in that front end, that means he's sitting back and he's rocking back on his hind end. Just like if I ask him to step under like that, and then I stop him, and I ask him to rock back and roll across, he's having to use his hind end. So I hope you guys find this interesting. If you like it, please hit subscribe. There's going to be more videos on this. And if you want more detail on stuff like this, please visit my Patreon page and my university at naturalhorsemanship.com. Thanks so much. Have a great day.